updated picture for every time we level up. My
No.
level 4. This is my level 5 butt.
I'll do it. I'll do it on my own. Thanks, though.
It's like getting Brazilian butt implants, and they're just like, I want it a little bigger.
He's like level 4, not level 2.
It just gets bigger and bigger and more muscular and beefy. I'm more armor.
I'm on a level 12.
So they flip inside out.
Oh, Jesus.
It happens. It's real. Google it.
It is real.
I don't want that in my history.
I seen it.
I'm more picturing that South Park where like they had like testicular cancer or something, or they let their balls grow
Giant
huge and they
balls,
start bouncing around.
Medicinal fried chicken.
Buffalo.
It was like boing, 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 boing.
It's like a hippity hop.
All right.
Did we record that?
Yep, I started recording. A little bit ago.
Recording about bouncing on our balls.
Alrighty, so we'll do a recap here. When we last left the group, you were all heading towards the Bent Helm Tavern after having another day of contests and festivities. Vidania got her second win as the best shot in the archery contest, narrowly beating Zan. A small bit of coin to go along with her Piggy Pie Champion medal. As you were heading to the southern part of the docks to take part in the drinking contest, you were beckoned by a nondescript fortune teller's tent, or some of you were at least. The experience inside the tent appeared to shake the majority of you, as evidenced by everyone's mood after exiting, but you went on to the Bent Helm to engage in some healthy memory suppression, and in the downtime roleplay, Zan and Arik headed off on their own while Erdnot and Micaiah entered the contest, where with several other contestants, the drink of the Bent Helm Chunder Thunder was Angry Tom's Furious Ale, and about 4 drinks in, all of the other drinkers dropped, except Erdnot, the Chunder Thunder champion, of 1489.
Yeah!
We're gonna pick up as you're all on your way. Erdnot and Micaiah trying to walk off the drink in time for your 8 p.m. or thereabouts meeting with Onthar and Leosin.
Her. So, oh good, we escaped her.
Well, you can still do the downtime role.
Jesus Christ, what is that?
At me, I sniffled. Sorry.
You sounded like you were dragging us a heavy safe across a concrete floor.
Alrighty, so you, oh, I didn't start you guys on the landing page, just went straight to El Terrell. So as you're walking through the streets of El Terrell here, it's starting to get a little late, it's starting to get cool, the air. Erdnot and Micaiah, you're still, it's only been about an hour, so you're pretty drunk right now.
Fuck is duck.
So it takes you about another hour or so, given the distance, and probably like an hour and a half, to be honest. It was about 6 when you left the Bent Helm to make your way back to the pair of black antlers. You're trying to push through the crowds that are still very busy out there, having their dinners and everything, and all of the vendors in Shiara's market. And you're also trying to steer Erdnot and Micaiah along the way because they've been drinking.
I know my way around.
Sure you do.
What he said.
Can I try to help Micaiah?
Yep.
I'm gonna put my hand around her hip and try to help her walk a little.
I knew that I knew I liked you.
So
You're horny.
Don't say
I
horny.
knew she was gonna say
So many
horny.
whores. Why do you have so many whores?
Honey, come on, we gotta go. We gotta meet Anthar.
I know, darling, but I just one more. I feel like I should have one more drink.
How's
Please
her?
buy me a drink.
Maybe they need some meat on a stick to put something in their stomachs.
Oh, meat on it.
We might be able to get something at the tavern.
I love meat on a stick.
if you're looking for something fast, then meat on a
So
stick from the
good.
market will get you that because it's going to be a little bit. It takes a while to get to the antlers from where you're at. You're all the way at the southern end here, and you got to get back up here.
Oh yeah,
You guys wanna-
I need
yeah.
some food before that. I'm starving.
And
We
I mean
need
that's
some
easy enough to
street meat.
find. Whoever wants to get it. I mean you guys got it before, so you can get some meat on
Corn
a stick
dogs?
for like.
My treat, guys.
Aw, honey.
There you go. However many you want. They're like 5
I
copper
knew
apiece.
I liked you too.
2 for a silver.
All right, who
In
wants
fact, I love you. I love all of you.
All right. So
I'll
you
take one for each of them.
I'm gonna munch that meat and kiss Kaya on the cheek and then keep walking.
munch that meat. It's about 3 silver for everybody.
Three.
So you make your way back to the pair of black antlers, and it's about like 7:30, 7:45. It's rolling up on the time that you needed to get there anyway. And so you enter through the doors of this tavern that you've been hanging out in for the past couple of days. It's like High Harvest Tide proper today, the 30th of Elent. So the tavern's even more rowdy than it normally is. You guys immediately see Abaddon Harmony is working tonight. So they're there already, racking in some tips and stuff from all of the different people that are there spending money and eating and drinking. And you do see already, you see up on that second balcony area, you see Anthar and Leosin. For once, Anthar doesn't like yell out to you because it looks like he and Leosin are talking pretty like passionately, but also kind of hunched over and quietly, just between the two of them. But they're not, whatever they're talking about, they're not necessarily agreeing on. It looks like up on that second balcony, and the rest of the tavern is very loud. There's musicians playing and people drinking and eating as you walk in.
Can I run over and say hi to Harmony, please?
Of course.
Is there, like, can I just, like, go slap Harmony on the tush?
Sure. So you run up.
Cutely. In a cute way, not like a gross way.
Hey there, toots.
Like, you know me, so it's okay.
Right. So Harmony
Nice.
turns and sees that it's you. Like, there's a second where like there's a little like angry face, but then they see that it's you. And big smile, and they give you a kiss on the cheek.
Yay!
Say, hey, it's great to see you. Sorry, I'm really, really busy tonight, but I'll come and talk to you as soon as I can. And they're like grabbing up drinks and stuff.
I'll just smile and say, of course, later. Okay, I love you, bye.
Could Zan stealthily make his way within earshot, letting them finish, but try to eavesdrop a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, you can roll me a stealth check because you have to go up the stairs. Where is my roll 20? Oh yeah, nat 20. Yep.
First
So
of the
you're
night. There we go.
Hey.
So yeah, you kind of go up the stairs a little bit, maybe like halfway, and kind of hang out on the little landing area there and listen. And you can hear. Actually, make a perception check. So you got up there without them seeing you, but let's see what you hear. So you hear just little bits of the conversation, and you can hear Onthar's voice, and he's saying, well, we don't know if we can trust them, and Leosin is going back and saying, I think we do, and we need their help, like basically getting the gist of like Leosin is like pretty big fans of yours, it seems, and Onthar's not quite there yet.
We won every competition in the goddamn city.
We played all the goddamn games.
I like to arm wrestle.
Yes, Queen.
I'll relay the message through my quiver to those who are, I guess we'll say, enough with their thoughts that they don't maybe say it out loud. I'm not going to mention any names.
Very safe.
Smart.
Very safe.
Alrighty. So, after, well, are you guys gonna hang out at the bottom? What are you up to?
I'll get an ale. Can I order an ale, please?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd probably try to direct everybody, or herd. I guess herd is a better for the, it's like herd and drunk cats to a table where they would see us, but from the top. But
Okay.
All
right. So, Abaddon, that's gonna be about 5 copper. Unless you want a hand keg, which is checking my notes.
What about for the table? Since the crew is kind of sitting. If I look back and see them, how much for the what's it called? Like a
hand keg.
thing.
Oh.
What did Abaddon did Abaddon get her winnings from the pot of from betting on me?
Yeah, everybody would have gotten. So you got your 2 gold, Abaddon. you got your money back.
Okay.
All right. 1 second.
Yeah. So if we're all gonna sit, then I'll just order a pitcher. That's what I'm trying to think of. That fucking word. I can't think of that word for the table.
We don't go out. We don't go out in public anymore. We're starting to forget what
Yeah.
what
I don't know how to
words
do this anymore.
How words work.
Can I get a cup of beer?
Can I get a liter of cola?
Yeah.
All right. So a pitcher, let's see here, would be about 2 silver.
Okay.
3
I'll
silver.
take it.
3 silver for a pitcher of ale.
Okay. One for the table, please, my sweet.
Are you asking the bartender, or are you like raising your hand for Harmony?
Well, if I was just talking to Harmony, then I can tell her, I guess.
All right. Okay. All right. So they turn to you and say like, "Oh, I'll be right there. You got it."
Thank you, Abaddon.
Got it, babe.
You're a rest.
So,
Zan's not at the table. He's just kind of still not too close, but just still trying to get the gist of what's going on.
okay.
Get the tea, son.
Clank,
I learned that slang. I learned that slang from my kid today. She was
I
like,
don't know
"What's
what
up,
that
Dad?"
means.
She was like, "What's the tea?" And I was like, "Fuck,
Oh.
oolong."
Earl
I don't know. I drink. I drink oolong tea. I don't know. I was very confused.
Chamomile.
So Zan, you can.
No, wait. I want to know what the T means. You don't just leave us
The
hanging.
truth.
It's like what's
Truth.
what's the
Oh,
gossip? What's the truth? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Now we know.
I'll use that.
I don't like it.
Fair enough.
So Zan, you can hear that they're going back and forth a little bit about how they need to find out more. Leosin's saying, like, we don't really have anybody else right now because we're still trying to convince people, and Anthar is saying, well, maybe we have people go in a little bit after we've convinced some more of the higher ups and others to join us, and Leosin's saying they don't have time for that. So that's kind of like the gist of the conversation. And it's about that time that Zan, you would hear Leosin say, like, "Oh, they're here," and Anthar looks up, and he looks up from the table, looks down at you, and then he gets this like big grin on his face, and he's like, "Vidania!" And he has this huge smile.
Likes you.
It's my hair.
It's the tits.
We all thought that, but no, we weren't gonna say it.
And he says, champions, come and join us. And like raises his arm. Come join us. Come.
Okay.
And
I'll go up. Does anybody need help going up the stairs?
I'm fully capable of my own motor functions, boy.
I walked by.
Somebody help her. Or at least stand behind her.
I'm gonna sneak a shoulder underneath her hand to give her something steady to hold on to.
We arm wrestle.
You did
I'll
great.
grab her butt and I'm gonna push her with her butt up.
Oh my gosh! Someone's touching my butt. My butt is burning.
So Leosin and Anthar both actually stand up as you guys are coming up the stairs. Harmony sees you guys going up, and she kind of rushes up behind you, Abaddon, and hands you the pitcher and just like 3 mugs, and says, like, I'll be right with you. I'll be right up there. But here you go. Here's the pitcher. Here's some mugs to get started. And as you're going up the stairs, you can see Anthar and Leosin start walking further down the balcony area, and then there's like on the bottom floor there's a hall that goes in the back, and then on the top floor there's also a hall. As you go around the balcony area, you go into the back, and there's a hallway there. And you can see them walking that way and just kind of gesturing for you guys to follow.
I guess we follow.
Alright. So they lead you to a back room, and behind you as you guys are walking in, there's 2 you notice that there's 2 people who always seems that Anthar's got a couple of people with him, and they just kind of wordlessly follow you to that room, and then they close the door behind you guys, but they stay outside of the room. And let me go. I'm in the wrong notes.
So we're all closed in a room together?
Yeah, you're all in this room, and the room is really comfortable looking. It's not a like a bedroom type room. It's got a table in it. It's like a conference room. But
Party.
huh?
I
Oh
was
yeah.
gonna say, is this a champagne room?
It's got a table. Leosin and Leosin actually stands up and like leans against the wall behind Onthar, and Onthar sits down at the table, and there's plenty of chairs for you all to sit. It's a decent sized room, like I don't know what decent sized is, 15 by 20.
That's a good room.
That's a
That's
good
a great room.
Good solid room.
That's
It's the
solid
perfect
room.
size. Perfect size.
I feel like I can confer in this room.
So there's plenty.
Zan's gonna stay standing with his back up against the wall.
Okay.
My hands are full, so I'm gonna put everything that's in my hands on the table.
All right.
Are we being gestured to sit? Or...
Yeah, he's gesturing for you to sit, and actually on the table too, there's like 3 or 4 pitchers of some liquid that like looks like it's dark red wine, and there's already glasses there. So as you come in, Onthar smiles at you, Abaddon, and he's like, "I already had you covered, but the more the merrier."
Erdot's already sitting and pouring himself a glass.
All right. So for probably the first time you watch Onthar's face, he looks back at Leosin, who kind of nods a little bit at him, and you see Onthar's face get really serious, unlike it has been since you've met him. And he says, "All right, my friends. We have important business to discuss. At this point, you know almost as much about it as we do, and thanks to you, we know twice as much today as we did a 10-day ago. Something rotten is afoot. We have no formal organization to oppose these rascals, not yet anyway. We're working on that, and we need people like you who know how and when to fight and how and when to keep their heads down and observe. We can't promise you anything except long days filled with danger and stress, but what could be better than that, eh?" And he smiles, but it's not really, like, convincing smile. And Leosin pipes up and he says, "There's some details that we'd like to know more about before we get to next steps with you guys. You mentioned dragon eggs, and there's dragon eggs mentioned in the letters that you provided. Did you find them?"
We did. And we destroyed all but one.
You see Leosin's face kind of, he doesn't look happy. He goes, "Ugh." But Onthar is like, he smiles, but he looks back at Leosin and he's like, "Good." He looks at all of you, and Leosin says, "Well, we'll see." He doesn't look happy about it. Then Onthar looks and he says, "The less dragons, the better." He looks at all of you, and he says, "But you said most of them. What do you mean by that?"
Does anybody else want to field that, or you want me to take care of it?
Nudges Abaddon.
Arm wrestle.
Yeah. I would just.
Zan will step forward and say, we had to broker a deal with the Blue Dragon in order to get her to leave Greenest and stop the attack with the dragon. We had to agree to get her egg out of the cult's grasps. Seems as though she might not be working with the cult willingly.
And this time you see Onthar's face, and he's like, "You brokered a deal with a chromatic dragon?" And Leosin says, "Onthar, sometimes you have to do what you've got to do to get things done. It can't all be rainbows and butterflies." And Onthar looks at him like,
It wasn't
Cool.
because we wanted to. We had to assure the best we could the people of Greenest.
Venus would not be standing this day if we did not broker a deal with East.
DM, who am I standing next to?
I don't know. Who are you standing next to?
Can I be standing next to Zan?
Sure.
Okay, I want to nudge Zan and I want to whisper to him, why don't these two get along? What is the issue?
I'll use my quiver and tell her it seems to be us.
But we're so cute.
To cover them whispering like that,
No,
I'm just gonna.
I used my quiver.
Oh, okay.
On
He's
whispering.
like, no.
Well, to cover Avedon's whispering, I'm gonna pour a glass of wine for everybody as that's happening.
My boy.
Just hopefully to cover up the probably fairly obvious whispering.
Yeah, Leosin is looking directly at you guys. Antharr, he's kind of does this when he's just shaking his head and he's like, all right, well, that's over. We can't change the past, but this Frulam who wrote the letters, what came of this individual? Did you get them from them, or?
Unfortunately, it seems that she had escaped the cave fortress that they had. These letters are what we found that were left.
I found it on a table.
You can
Anthar's
and
like,
you,
oh yes, I remember you saying that, Micaiah. Yep.
you can arm wrestle on tables.
On a table.
And at that point, he smiles a little bit, and he's like, "I see you guys. You took part in the drinking contest at the Bent Helm, Micaiah. I only expected Erdnot."
Oh, I
Erdnot
love
slams his fist down, and I won it.
Of course you did. I would expect nothing less.
Well, I had to give Erdnot some competition.
That was the cutest little Southern Belle hiccup. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he just
Oh,
laughs
well.
like out loud.
Zan will interject. She left one of the lieutenants, the blue dragonborn Cyan Wrath, behind, one of their strongest fighters, to protect the eggs. She didn't make it out, and then I point over to Mr. Flamesong.
Yes.
And Leo
You still have the head on your belt, don't you?
Yeah, I would reach
Yeah.
down and no, I don't have it attached to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't have the.
I forgot.
Yeah, you don't have the head anymore.
I have the head. I just have this. I have the skull.
Right.
I boiled it down to a skull.
I don't know if it's still attached to you. That.
No, it's not. It's attached to the horse.
Okay, right.
It's in my baggage.
Wearing like a tooth or a horn or something.
In my baggage, I have the horns of the drakes and the dragon, and I also have some teeth. I do have some teeth in my pouch, so I suppose I could take those out and
You
slide
cut
them.
something off of her and like wore it, besides just keeping the head.
No,
Oh, I think I have a piece of her skin.
I
Who
took
took the horn?
I did. I
You're
took the
like,
head.
"Oh, group of motherfuckers."
I cut off her horn, the head, boiled the head down into a skull, kept the horn for unspecified purposes. Giggity, not really. And I also cut out some of the teeth.
Boy, housekeeping is going to be very upset with you
I did that all in the
when
cave.
they find that bathtub.
That was all done at the cave.
All right, using my quiver, I'll say, show the horn.
I would take the horn and the teeth. The horn is actually in with my baggage stuff too. But I would take the teeth out and slide them across and tell Antharr that that's all that remains on my person of Cyan Wrath Langdrosa Cyan Wrath or Cyan Wrath Langdrosa.
Langdedrosa, Cyanrath, yeah. And Leosin...
I guess I would just.
Well, Leosin knew who that was because he got to be intimately familiar with some of the leadership as they were beating him almost to death. And so he nods, and Anthar looks back at him, and Leosin does the like, and Anthar looks back and he's like, well, it's unfortunate that Frulam escaped. And Leosin said, yep, it is definitely unfortunate. I would have liked to have spoken with her again. But Anthar says, well, we'll bring you up to speed with our thoughts. Ultimately, we don't believe that the plan of the cult is to attack Baldur's Gate at this time. I know Erdnot, you had presented that as a possibility. They're just nowhere near strong enough to do such a thing.
It would be foolish on their part.
Yes, which is why we don't believe it makes any sense that that's what they're trying to do. Leosin says, well, they're clearly in a raiding and loot gathering stage. So you said that when you left, or when you went back to the camp, they had left. So it sounds to me like they're on the move. There was nothing left, just the dragon eggs and a skeleton crew watching them. So this map you provided, it appears that it's showing a route that they are taking to go north. So where we're at the moment is we simply don't have enough support from the higher ups. We do know that in the past the cult was more active to the east, and it was focused on making those Draco liches, but its shift to the Sword Coast and this new emphasis on living dragons and on Tiamat are cause for great concern. And it appears that the cult is on the move, and that they're up to something big, that they would need that much cash and treasure.
So what do you need from us, Anthar? Why are we here?
Well, and this is Leosin talking, he says, so we've got the Harpers, which is my organization, or the organization I belong to, and Anthar's Order of the Gauntlet, and Anthar nods, and you can tell by looking at them that they definitely don't belong to the same organization. Anthar he wears his tome, his right-handed gauntlet of Torm, which is like right on his chest, and the Order of the Gauntlets. What is that called? Their symbol. That's a word that I'm looking for. He has that one. So that right-handed gauntlet of Torm is his like holy symbol that he has hanging around his neck, and on like the back of one of his cloaks that you had seen prior, out in the bar area, he has the symbol of the Order of the Gauntlet, which is the sword, a fist holding like a sword. And so Leosin says, we have a third allied group known as the Emerald Enclave. And right now we're just trying to gather enough information to convince all of the higher-ups that this is really a threat. What we would love is if any of you would be willing to join us. I don't know if Zan has shared with you, but I'll do it now, that he has officially joined the Harpers and has joined our ranks. And as a result, we can provide not really any pay at the moment. Would be kind of an initiate stage, but we can give you help and support. I hope that my ability to give you those horses on your way is just one showing of some of the things that we can do to provide aid as you help us to gather intel and prevent whatever it is that this cult is trying to do.
So you want us to join your group of sorts officially?
Anthar says it's up to you. It would essentially the Order of the Gauntlet. We are for honor, but we operate more openly, let's just say, than the Harpers do.
Wait, we can ask to join both or choose one to join? Like, who's making this offer?
They're both making the offer. You probably cannot join both organizations. Like, one is more secretive, and the other one is very much out in the open. So Leosin explains to you that the Harpers are a loosely organized bunch, that the agents are allowed a wide freedom of action and typically work alone or in very, very small groups. And Anthar explains that while the Order of the Gauntlet shares a lot of the Harpers' principles, they emphasize faith and vigilance and a constant struggle against threats of evil. A lot of their members are clerics and paladins, but they'll really welcome anybody. Discipline is their top is key, and the order is a lot more structured and hierarchical than the Harpers is. You know, I mean, this is, they're asking, but this is not the choice is yours, basically.
I would politely decline as best I can to join either of these associations.
Turns and looks at everyone else and goes, perhaps a discussion amongst ourselves would be in order.
Well, so at looking around the room, Anthar can tell that not everybody seems excited to join, and he says, regardless of joining, what we ask of you today is that you help us. You don't need to join us to help us. We're just saying that as official members of the group, there's more that can be done for you. But essentially what we need to know is where the treasure is going. We know it's going north, but what are they going to do with it? And we need someone to answer that for us while we work here to get our senior officials more on board and get the Emerald Enclave leadership, the Lord's Alliance, and others to really understand how important it is. What we would ask of you is if you could join the caravan of sorts and accompany the cult as they move north with all of the treasure that they have amassed. And
Is unknown to them.
well, is it known? Leosin kind of looks over and he's like, the cult is, I think, much larger than you all understand. The people that were in the Raiders camp, from the gathering of intelligence that we have done so far, that's just one group of a much larger group who's been out raiding and killing and stealing So while there's definitely the threat of you being recognized, I think that it might be minimal considering how many people are actually part of the group.
And if we decide to take this mission for you, what could we expect in terms of support and payment?
So Anthar looks at you, Arik, and he says, "This is not taking a mission for us. This is taking a mission for everyone. You would be doing this for everyone on the Sword Coast, and if not beyond. I'm not sure if you all understand," and he looks at everyone, "who Tiamat is, and the fact that her name has been brought up. If she were to be risen from her prison in the Nine Hells, none of you would be safe. In terms of support, well," he looks over at Leosin, and Leosin looks at Zan, and he says, "Well, I can still provide at least some. What we've done is we have gathered 50 gold for each of you to cover your expenses on this trip. We have also arranged for transportation to get you to Baldur's Gate as quickly as possible. It appears that the cult is moving in that direction, and we would like, if at all possible, for you to meet them there, join the caravan, and then head north with them. Doing some math and calculations of timing, and based on when they left in a hurry and you got here, it definitely would take wagons full of loot and treasure, at least 2.5, 3, 10 days to get to Baldur's Gate from the Raiders' camp. If we send you to Baldur's Gate now, you'll probably get there a good 10 days before they arrive. And then from there, you can get yourselves hired as guards, or if not from the cult's wagon masters, then by other merchants who travel in the same direction at the same time. Merchants are always going and traveling together from Baldur's Gate up to Waterdeep, and then just do some recon, and we can provide you with at least that.
Hey.
Do you guys want to discuss this just with the group in private?
Especially because we have some drunk people with us who may or may not be able to make that decision right now.
Exactly.
When did you want to?
want help. I
When
feel like I would help.
Oddthar looks over and he's like, "Thank you,
That
Micaiah. Thank you
already.
for your support."
when would we leave if we agree?
Anthar.
So Anthar says, "We have arranged for a ship to bring you down the Chiantha River tomorrow
Oh,
morning."
I love ships.
What?
It's not Doritos.
I love
And-
ships.
When do you need an answer by? Tomorrow morning, I presume.
The sooner the better. It leaves early in the morning. We can get you new weapons. We can get you new clothing, new gear. It's
That's great.
getting colder, and it's only going to get colder as the months wear on, and we can get you some winter coats.
You have Patagonia.
I would look over at our fairly inebriated members, and I would ask, or I would say, we need at least an hour to talk about it amongst ourselves.
Okay. All right. Anthar says, "I hope that you all do the honorable thing and help us in this fight. We don't have very much support at this time, but I fear that if too much time goes on and we haven't learned, what we need to find out. It could be too late. We would all be impacted by a rise of Tiamat.
I love you,
And
Anthar.
slaps Eckert on the shoulder and looking at Anthar and says, "Boy does not believe in gods and devils. We must show him that they actually exist."
That's right, or not. Tell him.
I know the gods
We're gonna
exist.
help
I
you,
know
Anthar.
I know devils exist.
Ow.
I just fucking halfway through that sentence, we believe you. Oh, they got me.
We're gonna help you.
I know devils exist. I know gods exist. We need a bit to discuss this amongst ourselves.
All right.
Will you
question.
be here or are you
Quick
going back
question
down to
also.
the bar? Anthar.
So Anthar says, well, Leosin and I can leave you to it. And he stands up. He kind of has a little bit of like a disappointed look, even though you guys haven't said no. He just looks like a little disappointed. As he walks out, he just walks out the door. And
question.
before... Yep, go ahead.
I was just...
Why'd you make him sad?
I'm gonna hug Micaiah.
I like that her hug is like her hands.
I wanted a hug.
Anthar, question before you leave.
He stops and looks at you.
Your people, leaders, whatever they are, they want proof that this cult means business. These letters and with great respect, a dragon being controlled by the cult already attacking a town like Greenest isn't enough?
And he says, this isn't the first time that the cult has risen. This is just the first time that they have attempted to use chromatic dragons in their quest. Oop, did you miss me?
My shit cut out. I'm sorry.
No problem. I saw you disappear.
I was like, I was like yelling into the void. I was like, no, please don't give it, because you give me like pertinent information again, like last time, right when my phone cuts out. Did you get all of my question?
Yes. So he says, this isn't the first time that the cult has risen, friend. It's just the first time that they've attempted to use chromatic living dragons. They've always failed, but this is a new angle. So us saying the cult of the dragon is back would just get a laugh. We need more, and we need to know what it is they plan to do.
Fair enough.
And he walks out, and Leosin trails behind, but he looks over at you, Zan, and then he walks over and he pulls this little pouch out of the side of his vest, and he hands it to you, Zan. And it's already, he like pulls it open to hand it to you so you can see what's inside. And he says, if you all help and take this mission, this will be waiting for you in the hands of a Harper agent in Waterdeep. And Zan, inside, you can see a just glittering, even though there's no light on it, this magnificent ruby that's worth about 1,200 gold in the pouch. And then he gingerly takes it back and puts it back into his pocket.
Zan just does a single head nod down in understanding.
And then Leosin walks out and closes the door. You can kind of hear Anthar like yell something at him as they're walking out, but you can't hear quite what it is.
Or a loud fat guy yell.
You can give me an insight check.
Let's see. Where's my insight?
Is he still drunk? Does he have disadvantage?
Easy, man.
Yeah. Well, you only had to roll once
Alright,
because
so-
you.
Alright, so 10.
It was a 10. It sounds like it could be like a mixture of both. Angry, drunk, fat guy yell. You're not quite sure. You couldn't hear what he said. All right. So you're in the room. The wine is there on the table.
So what do you guys think?
The fat human.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
Like the fat human.
I want to help them.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not gonna help them. Or that it's not a noble cause. I just don't like him.
Oh, well, that's fine, but we gotta help them.
Is there any water on the table? could I pour a cup of water and just kind of just try to goad her to drink it? Like, drinky. Here you
There's
go.
no water,
Just-
but you can ask. You can go get some. Just
I'm
wine.
not that ambitious. Not that ambitious. I was gonna give her a floating pine.
Zan, still with his back up against the wall. I am already committed to this. I am going regardless if anyone else is. I hope all of you will. This is bigger than all of us. I joined with the Harpers to do what I can. I hope you all
I'm
can
with
see that.
Zan 2020.
Thank you, Micaiah.
Committed to this. I
He is our
don't
leader.
like the idea of joining any of these groups, though.
I don't think it's necessary. I'm not going to. I can't give a group my oath if I can't commit, and I refuse. So
Commitment issues.
be doing this freelance, basically.
I'm not joining anything. I just want to help. I like them. Nice people. Nice people in this town. I
What
like
about you,
here.
Avedon and Vidania?
Micaiah
I think we should
definitely.
go.
Micaiah definitely would have been hit harder with that alcohol. So, this is true. Then or not, this is true to form.
Well played, Micaiah.
God, that southern, that accent
Yeah.
gets
She's gonna-
me every time.
She's gonna wake up on a
I
boat
know.
like, what did I do last night?
I promised to do what?
This is a ferry down to Mississippi.
Yes.
I agree. I think we should go. We're part of something bigger now.
Zan, why did you join the Harp?
Johnny's gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
That just like faded off in a quiet.
Zan, what made you join the Harpers? Why doesn't anybody else want to do it?
The Harpers have a code of honor and principles that align with mine in keeping both the reaches of cities and the wild in a balance. They have also agreed to train me. I am not going to lie, part of this is personal so that I can find Cain. I believe he is connected to the cult, but the rise of Tiamat is too big to ignore. They have all been just and I wouldn't say kind, but they are definitely a strong ally to us. I don't know of
You going to join the Harpers?
I already have, and I'll reach in.
No. I was
with-
asking Avedon.
What? What'd you say?
Oh,
Are you going to join? Or are you gonna be an independent contractor?
Well, I That's what I'm wondering. I don't know the benefits. I'm here solo, and I
Do they
love
have
you
health
guys.
insurance?
But if they
Is there
have
a
dental,
severance? Is there a severance package?
if they have dental, I'm sold.
There's also Unthar's group. As he said, it's a much more military, rigid style of a group. The Harpers, as it's been explained to me, they mainly work independently for the greater good. They don't get together in mass like Unthar's men. The Harpers, their help, it's definitely going to be much more subtle than Unthar's help.
Maybe
Either
it
way,
would suit us better.
I say, who needs to join? Since Zan already joined. He's our connection to the group. We stick together. You are our liaison. If that word exists, that's a French word. French. France doesn't exist here.
Francois.
Is that it? Is that it, Zan? Will they trust us if we just have you?
They do work with outside forces as long as their goals align to the greater good. There may be some things that are withheld from you. Again, I only joined once we made it here to El Terra, so I'm not sure how far their reach can go. But from everything that I've seen, they are definitely trying to stop Tiamat, and they need the help. Regardless if any of you join, they will help us.
Oh,
That's funny then.
So we've got Zan, Micaiah, and Vidania all for going. Or not, where do you sit?
Committed boy. The one I hunt is associated with this cult as well, and I will not let Tiamat rise on my watch.
That's 4. Avedon, what are your feelings?
this is what we must do. I understand. I'm in. Let's make an adventure.
Slaps you really hard on the back because he just seems to do that.
Agreed. Now, they need us. So do you guys think that we should try to press them for a little extra?
Well, frankly, I'm
Providing
nervous.
us
I
with
feel like we're
boats
gonna
and
stick out
all
like a
sorts of
fucking
shit.
sore thumb.
Well, they already promised us armor, clothes, and weapons.
What about disguises?
think that's-
Leosin showed me it was a rather large ruby in that pouch. They're definitely not going to just only outfit us one time. They'll give us a continued support. I don't think right now is the time to try and press them for too much more.
I wasn't thinking in monetary. I was thinking more in maybe... This is going to be fairly dangerous. Correct? I mean, I can only imagine. So, and we did just happen to lose a spell scroll. So, maybe we can bargain for
was
of
a good
sorts.
idea.
Yes, we all know that. We all know you're unhappy. But maybe if they have something like that lying around, maybe not that particular spell, but these guys seem fairly well connected. We're going to need something to get out of a tight bind. And unfortunately, we blew up the last one we had. Thanks, Uncle Ari. Try to pull the phone.
Well, we'll have to see what they have. They're being quite generous with equipping us.
We're also being very generous in doing this. They can do a little bit better than just horses and clothes.
I don't think this is being generous. I think this is what must be done.
True.
Yeah,
And-
this is not for just for them. This is for everybody. Don't be selfish.
I'm not being selfish. I just want to make sure that we don't get into a spot where
Oh,
we're killed.
Stop it.
I think that we're under no assumption this could be a death mission, regardless. We've
Once
gone
it's not so bad.
Any of
We've-
those.
we've gone
It's
through a
all
lot.
right.
We've gone through a lot already. I doubt it's going to get any easier.
Hence why I'm saying if we can bargain for something to help
But we
us on the
still
way.
hang out with you, and you're a wanted man.
True.
So,
That
Oh,
complicates
shit.
things. But
I'm
I'm just
I'm
looking out for the
saying.
safety. I'm just looking out for the safety of everybody.
That's also very dangerous. You're dangerous. You're a
God, 'cause
dangerous man.
Well, maybe that's
I so
something.
badly want to make a Top Gun reference, but I'm not sure everybody would get it. And if we were in person, I would. I just want to be like, that's right, Iceman. I am
Oh.
dangerous. You tell me you guys have seen Top Gun. Come on, please.
Of course.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
We're all in our 30s. We've all seen Top Gun.
I was gonna say, there's gonna be one person who's listening listening to this. That's gonna go, oh my god, I fucking get that.
Just the Captain America meme. I understood that reference.
Avedon looks like
I-
she's found something or remembered something.
Yeah, I was thinking of this spell. Is it Scry that can find that that can easily find someone when you're. That's how the Drow found
Me, yes.
found Eric. I mean, yes. What was the spell though? I can't remember what it was.
It was
I think you're
Scry,
right.
I think.
I think it was.
Was it? It was Scry. Is there? But there was. But we knew. Zan and I knew something that could combat that. Did we not?
I think it was Ari.
Oh damn it!
He's real good with magic, but perhaps we can ask either Leosin or Unthar if they know of anyone or have the ability to cloak someone from a scry.
That's what I was thinking.
Micaiah also, although she is intoxicated, at least got you remembered that dispel magic is potentially a way.
Oh! It's called non-detection.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever she said.
Is there? So maybe we could ask for at least help with that. Because if we have one thing less on our tracks, then we can focus on the mission at hand.
I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can try.
So of all things, I guess we can ask him for that, and if not, 50 gold it is, and maybe a disguise to look more like a merchant or something that we can do recon in and not look like such a good-looking crew.
We are quite sexy.
The fun one.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right. So you've come up with your plan. Are you going to go out and get them, or are you going to leave the room? What are you going to do to go chat with those two?
Are they just waiting out? I mean, if we open the door, are they just waiting outside, or did they go back down the stairs to the bar?
I think regardless, we should have them come back into the room. I don't think this is a conversation, regardless, to have out in the open.
So Avedon, when you open the door and you look out, you see that the hallway is empty. There's a couple more doors in that hallway, but the two people who had followed you guys, like the two other Order of the Gauntlet individuals, are not there, and you can hear Onthar. He's back at probably the table that he was at. You can't see him from your angle, but you can see out into like the open area from. If you just take a look to the left, you can see.
Is it so loud? Could I call him in, or is it loud enough that I would have to go get him?
It's pretty loud. You should probably go get him.
All right, I'm gonna go
Is,
Go ahead.
is Unthar or Leosin further than 30 feet away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I was gonna
thinking
say
about how big I made my room.
I could have used my quiver, but if they're over 30 feet,
All right, so Abaddon, you run out and go.
Pat, 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 pat.
All right. So Anthar,
Wait, do you have hooves?
No.
Okay. I thought that was like your hooves clicking on
Oh.
Because like I've seen pictures of both, so like I wasn't sure.
That's funny. I like it. Maybe I'll consider that actually. Just grow them.
So Anthar and Leosin come back, and you see again the two following behind Anthar, and they come back into the room, and they close the door. But Anthar doesn't sit this time. He just kind of stands there and crosses his arms, folds his arms in front of himself, and Leosin goes back to where he was, like up against the wall, just leaning, and Anthar looks at each of you and then is like, I hope you have chosen to do the right thing, the honorable thing.
Zan will-
Guilt trip.
Zan will step forward.
You know it.
We are all in. We're all going to go.
I'm in. I love you, Anthar.
The others are not going to formally join either. And then I'll look to Leosin, but you know I am committed.
He nods
And-
at you.
And we're going to see this through.
Anthar says, "Wonderful," and he claps, and he looks and says, "I can make sure that you're all outfitted with any new weapons you'd like. It would be a good idea, since it appears that the cult did get a look at each of you, that you change your appearance in some way, change your clothing. We have a ship ready to sail out tomorrow morning about 6 a.m. And it'll take about 3 days to get from here to Baldur's Gate if the ship ties up at night. So
Like groans at the thought of being on the
We-
water for 3 days.
Unthar, we have one request.
what is it? How can I help you?
We were attacked by assassins on our way here. Due to outside circumstances, we believe that they had used a scry on one of the members of our party. Do you or Leosin have any knowledge of anyone in the city that can either block or stop a scry so that we can make sure that we don't have any more surprise attacks?
He smiles and he looks at you all and he says, "Assassins due to outside circumstances." Well, I do know that a scrying spell is a pretty high level spell to cast, and so something to counter it. I don't know the details, but I can send you to someone who might know. There's no guarantees. That's a pretty intense spell. But we can definitely outfit you. I'll send you let me get back to you. I'll go find my contact.
Thank you,
I
Unthar.
like to.
Check my
I
cell
love that.
phone.
I was gonna say that's like DM speak for, "Hey, shut the fuck up! I gotta do some rolls and stuff." I love it. Some research.
Is our best bet as far as disguising and getting recon goes, is acting as as merchants, or how do we best disguise ourselves? What do you recommend?
Leosin says, "Well, typically, the merchants that are leaving Baldur's Gate, so I'm sure Erdnot is familiar with this, but merchants are not allowed within the city walls of Baldur's Gate with their horses and all of their equipment. So typically they have to unload outside of the city, bring in all of their stuff by hand, multiple hands typically, and then set up shop or sell within the city and, do any sales or purchases, bring it back outside of the city, and head out with their caravans. So generally, there are merchants that are in need of guards on their travels from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep. The Mere of Dead Men, which is the swampy area that took over the old road that led directly to Waterdeep from Baldur's Gate, it's not a safe journey to go through there anymore. So the road has had to be built and shifted as the swamp continues to grow. So the journey there takes about anywhere from 4 to 6, 10 days, and they need guards and others to help make sure that their wares are protected and their lives are protected. So my suggestion would be to dress yourselves up as hired guards, or just present yourselves as travelers who need a ride from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep. They'll often safety in numbers, so some of the caravans will let travelers in who are trying to make their way up to the city. That's really your best bet. Being a merchant, we don't have enough goods to pass you off as a merchant, but you can make some money on the way as well.
I got a couple candlesticks.
That sweet pair of boots.
Back in Baldur's Gate to
And
pass
who
up
do
as
we
merchants.
who do we contact once we find any recon? Do we have to travel all the way back here? Did you already answer this?
We have agents everywhere, so we'll be able to find you. It will take you much longer to go north than one of our single agents would. There's a good chance that we'll have eyes on you if you need help. Whoever we can spare. Romalia, who you met the other day, she's working hard.
Rima!
The bureaucracy of it can be a lot harder than the fighting sometimes.
Indeed.
Easier to cut through people. It's easier sometimes to cut through people than it is red tape.
Yep. That's true. So Anthar says, so think about what you need. I'm going to go speak to my people and see if I can get you any help. I will say there's not a good chance that whatever can be done for you is going to last 3 or 4 days to get you to your destination, but I don't know. If there are assassins after you, they don't necessarily need scrying to find you. The good ones, anyway. Alright.
The last ones were good ones, and now their heads are on spikes.
Well, if someone really wants you dead and you keep killing their assassins, they're likely just to pay more for better ones. That's what I've found. Not that I'd know by experience.
Shoot.
All right. Speak with me when you're ready. I'll be out there. Thank you for your help. But also, good luck. This is important for you as well. Not just us. And Anthar nods and then heads out. And Leosin gives you all a smile, and he says, "I knew I could trust in you guys. It's not all about the money, I'm sure. But
Oh,
we'll make sure that you're
no.
paid."
Not for me.
Oh, I love you guys.
Like, take care of that one.
Love
We'll
you
get-
guys.
We'll get you outfitted tonight, and I'll take a look too to find out what I can about doing some kind of protection for whichever one of you is on someone's list. But come back to us in a little bit, and we'll have the information. And then whatever you decide to outfit yourselves with in order to disguise yourselves a bit, we will cover the cost. All right. Thank you. And he walks out as well.
Cheers.
Being spree.
All right. So, what are you guys looking to do? Does anybody want new weapons? Like, do you want to try something out? Because Onthar is willing to pay for any new weapons that you want. I'm not talking about like +5 weapons or whatever. I'm just saying if you have a long sword or a short sword and you want to try a flail or something, they're willing
Ooh,
to.
somebody try
purchase
flail.
Ew.
if you're proficient with whatever it is.
Armor.
I mean, that you can use whatever you want, but you'll be at disadvantage if you try.
Not me.
I'm just going to make a suggestion. Maybe Vidania might want to ask for studded leather armor.
Oh,
It sounds sexy.
that does sound sexy.
She's like, I already have that.
I just left it at home. Okay.
Do they have any better sets of armor? Right now I wear chainmail.
Or not wants plate armor.
You want plate armor?
Yep.
Okay.
They're offering. I'm gonna take it. The most expensive
Yep,
protection.
same.
I'm gonna be a fucking tank.
Can't get it if you don't ask.
I like how I was like, I'd like some better armor, and you were like, fucking plate armor.
So like, I just want some leather with studs in it. I'm like, I want a wall of metal.
Same, son. Whatever they can spare.
Yep. So you guys can get all right, let's see here. Yeah, plate armor is not going to happen.
Oh,
It's
why?
also
Because it's like
Doesn't need to
1,200
try.
gold.
it's 1,500 gold pieces, and they don't have like that's not happening.
Damn.
I can have my studded leather though.
The studded leather, I'm pretty sure, is a reasonable price, but let me just double check.
Hey, we're the heroes of the greenest.
Yeah,
We deserve the best of the best.
They can do studded leather. Yeah, you can get that. Anybody else want? I mean, you can take your time, and you can put a list, and then any thoughts
Ernost's just kind of pissed right now. He's swearing war
about what? Not getting $1,500 armor?
about not getting plate armor.
And
And everyone else should be pissed too, because that would bring my AC up to 20.
We're all pissed for you.
yeah, there's
I think
probably a
that-
reason why it costs that much, because like level 4, you know.
Well, I mean, you could ask for splint armor. I mean, that's up from chainmail, right?
No, I think it's chainmailed and then plate armor.
It would probably go up to, I
No,
think it's
it goes
half
it goes ring, chill, splint, then plate armor. Half plate is medium armor, but a half
Well-
plate is better than ring mail.
anything better than my chainmail is what I was looking for.
Great. And then any thoughts on how you're going to disguise yourselves?
There's just one. Oh,
Arik, you can get a
Eckhart
wig.
needs a wig.
What was that, DM?
You can get a wig.
Yes. Yeah, I want a big clown like rainbow-colored wig.
You might need to shave.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
shaving the beard. It's not happening.
Then perhaps dye it a different
I was gonna
color.
I'll dye it with a big white strip going down.
Perhaps
Um,
something to not make you stand out more.
That's what they'll be expecting.
Isn't there a disguise pack or something like that?
Yeah, if there somebody could be proficient in the disguise kit and can help with the disguises. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want. They'll pay for things within reason to help disguise you, any different clothes, because it's not like you guys are walking around with like 16 different sets of clothes. You all have pretty much just the clothes that you've been wearing for the past very long time.
And it's getting cold, right?
Yep,
So,
it's
and we're going to be on a boat.
Yep.
So maybe we'll need some furs or something like that.
I think he said that he would outfit us with cold gear,
Yep.
cold weather gear.
Mm-hmm. Just any immediate.
Zan,
Oh, go ahead.
Zan will always take more arrows.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna ask about arrows.
All right.
Eckert, Eric, do you need crossbow bolts?
No, I'm already loaded up. When I started, I had started with basically two quiverfuls. So I've still got like 50 of them, 46, something like that.
Well, Zan has 50 arrows, but he'll always take more.
Okay. So you guys get 20 more arrows each. Another pack of 20.
All right.
How many can you carry? Like,
I'd say like that's gonna be probably
okay.
like you probably technically can't carry that much, but you could probably put the extras in the bag of holding. That 20.
So all right. So I also get 20 more bolts.
Sure, if you want them, you can throw them in the bag of holding.
Sure. Do they those caltrips?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any caltrips? They come with a bag of 20.
Yeah, you can get another bag of those.
Oh, I'll get two more bags.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of flasks of lantern oil.
Is this all going in the bag of holding?
I'll keep mine on me. The caltrips and I'll keep my crossbow bolts on my horse.
Yes, so we can have the splint armor, just not
No,
the
splint armor is how much is that?
I think that's 200.
That was 200.
Oh. If you get the splint armor, that's all you're getting from them.
All I need from
Let me take a look at it. Where the hell is
I wish I knew that before I got the caltrips.
it? Well, you can get rid of those and get the caltrips if you want.
I know I'm like
I don't need
referencing
any other weapons or anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a walking armory myself, so I might not even need it.
Ergnot, what's your strength? Because you need a minimum of 15 to use splint armor.
I have a minimum of 15 plus 2.
Oh shit.
No, not plus 2.
My base is 15.
Okay.
For your strength?
Yeah.
Weakling. Weak, old man. You're weak. Mine's 18 plus 4, sucker.
Well, I had to divvy it up because I can shoot magic out of my hands and you
Yeah, I
can't.
know. Right. I know. I was able to use like half of them as dump stats. So
All right, yeah, you can do splint armor. That's going to be it though, because it's 200 gold. And
Oh, what about a
60
potion of... Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
A potion of healing, at least.
Yep, let me roll for that.
Or 4, if he has 4.
It's all the potions of healing.
Let's see what they've got. They've got 5. You get 5
Damn. Okay.
potions of regular healing.
I do want that disguise kit, but I don't know how to be proficient in it. I don't know. I couldn't find that.
They don't have disguise kits, but they'll help you buy stuff to disguise yourself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And like you can cut your hair, you guys can do whatever.
Ooh, I want to cut my hair.
Alright, how are you cutting your hair?
Oh, can I dye
So
it?
excited, like it's real.
You can dye your hair, you can cut it.
This is pandemic thing.
Noticeable. Yeah, I want bangs. No,
Pandemic things.
I'll shave it. Can I do like a faux hawk?
Yep,
Ooh.
Black?
yeah.
Ooh. Danya.
Vidania shaves
Oh,
her long, beautiful purple hair and does a black faux hawk, and Amthar is going to be very sad when he sees it.
It's for the cause.
Zan
Alright,
will
it's hotter.
Zan will also dye his hair black, cut the shoulder length hair just so that he can just short enough so that he can pull it back and dye it black.
Okay.
To
You guys going to make me find
ma-
new tokens
man-
for you. New character art.
Just for now. He'll let it grow
It'll
back.
grow back.
Anything else? Any changes? I mean, Abaddon,
I'd like to shave off my horns.
Maybe you should get like an eye patch or something.
Has anyone seen a white tiefling? No, I mean, I saw one with an eye patch, but it couldn't possibly be...
Oh God, no.
Oh no, the one I'm looking for has both eyes.
I do. I would like to,
Micaiah.
I would like to take a
Micaiah's
makeup
gonna
kit.
shave her whole head.
Okay.
Full Britney Spears. She's shaving her
Everybody's losing their
Shaving
hair.
head? Oh, nice.
head. But she's gonna pretend now to be a
Started with
dude.
no hair,
She's gonna
so-
pretend like she's a dude.
Okay.
She's gonna
Like
dress
what?
up in all black tactical
Gonna
gear
go Mulan.
like a
I was
guy.
gonna say, if everybody's shaving
She's
their
gonna
head,
go
I feel like
Mulan, yeah. Full Mulan.
I feel like one of those Make-A-Wish kids. If everybody's shaving their head, like, jeez.
I'm doing this for you.
I think we need to get Arik a wig.
I was gonna say it's like when
You
you
can
know.
wear
the
my
kid-
purple hair.
I was just gonna say maybe he can fashion purple hair out of.
Oh, you
Vidania's
guys should
hair.
dread that into my beard.
She's mostly shaving it off because she's drunk and she tries to cut it and just makes a mess, so then she just shaves it off.
Wait, are we doing this like right in the middle of the room? Are they gonna come in and there's just like hair all over the place?
Well, it looks like she's got
I
the
assume
room.
Balls
that we
of
would.
dye.
I assume we would change our appearance later on tonight when we leave.
Yeah, you guys are kind of doing this as the night wears on. Like he's getting you that info. So he does. Anthar
yeah.
does come back to you.
What do people who are helping to guard or manage merchants? What do they wear? Who would do that? I guess.
So Arik would know that.
Badass bitches.
Yep. Armor of type. That's pretty much it. Anything that'll protect you from an arrow, blade, an axe. Anything that works.
Perhaps,
That's something that would better disguise us.
perhaps
Yeah.
some of us should disguise as not merchants, but guards, and others as travelers. Those who probably wouldn't pass off
Or
as
spellcasters.
Well, my thinking here is we're going to Baldur's Gate. Ernot owns a tavern where he brews his own drink in large quantities. The tavern has a large area that you did not see the time that you were there. My
Oh,
thinking
what?
is that
What
we
tavern?
can.
Oh, he didn't go.
Oh, yeah. That's right,
he wasn't there.
So we pose as your guards, basically.
Yeah, one or two of us can be merchants. We can grab like 3-4 of my barrels, and 2 or 3 of us can be merchants, or 2 of us can be merchants, and then the rest of us can pose as the guards.
That works.
We will
I like
be
it.
ale-mongers.
We'll need a wagon to do that, though.
Indeed.
won't
Didn't they say they would equip us with the wagons and horses and shit?
Ah.
So you already got horses.
Oh,
Oh, bringing them on the boat?
Anthar and Leosin let you know, let's say retcon, that the horses will fit on the boat. They won't necessarily be happy about it because it's a small boat, but they'll fit. He
Yeah,
got you
what
those
about that?
horses, and he's planning on trying to do what he can to let you keep them.
We're like
I'll talk to
Dothraki crossing the fucking Salt Sea here.
Oh, Micaiah, wasn't there components that you needed for Pass Without a Trace?
I believe that she got those actually. Let me check.
So Anthar does come back to you, Avedon, and lets you know a little bit later on that night. He lets you know that based on his research, he can find somebody who can cast non-detection, which is the spell that you mentioned, but it only lasts 8 hours.
Is that a scroll?
Yeah, Zan
No.
Micaiah did get the stuff,
no.
Okay.
but it only lasts an hour, and it adds 10 to everybody's stealth, so that doesn't guarantee that, that we will pass without a trace. It just gives us a good chance. But if somebody rolls like
Good
a
chance.
one or
Good
something,
chance. Yeah, it's just better chance because we have some who have a disadvantage for stealth because of their armor.
right? Yeah. No, she did. She purchased the stuff, or she gathered the stuff rather, while we were out in the wilderness.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. No, I anticipated she anticipated needing it. So.
That's the anti-scrying spell. Is that a scroll or that we need to buy, or is that an actual service we would need to purchase?
So if you 1 second, you can try to find. It would be cheaper to purchase the service if you tried to find the scroll. Oh, I know I have this note somewhere. Hold on. It's probably like $4,000 or more for a scroll.
Never mind.
Let me just see if I can find. I'm trying really hard to keep all my stuff organized.
Oh.
No, that's not there. Yeah, it's very expensive. It's also very expensive to get it cast on you, but he could probably work some magic there to get somebody to do it for a cheaper price. But a scroll is too much.
And nobody here would know. Only Ari knew how that would work, like the ins and outs of. Because since Eric has no idea how magic really works in his homeland, like magic is pretty much frowned upon. So he would ask anybody if they knew how that works. Like if scrying. Well, I guess I'll just ask you: does scrying work if I go basically quote unquote off the grid? Like if the scrying spell is stopped for 8 hours and I move, does the scrying spell pick up right? It like chases me right where I was, or I'm not quite sure how it works. Does it just like zoom in on me no matter what?
Avedon, you roll me a wisdom,
A remember
an arcana check.
Yes. Nice.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
what? Is that
nice.
whoa.
So I'm just gonna
Cool.
assume that you guys are all talking. So Avedon, you would be able to explain The way that a scrying spell works is that someone has to have they have to know of the person, have seen the person, and then they cast the spell in a moment in time. It lasts about 10 minutes, and it's essentially a ball. A ball that is invisible and appears within like 3 feet of the person and can see 10 feet around. The person, if there is like an anti-invisibility thing, you can see the orb following the person, and it will follow whatever the focus is. You can resist it. So if someone tries to cast scry on you, and you resist it, you'll feel that someone just tried to cast scry on you. But if you don't resist it, like, you won't know that it happened. Again, it's like a single moment in time. There's materials that are required sometimes.
Oh, okay. So it's not a constant. I thought Scry was like a constantly running, like a background program in like a computer. Like it's just constantly running, so they know where I am at all times.
No,
but it's
there's
something that they have to
no-
intermittently cast.
Right. No. For the most part, most magic that like mortals are casting, they kind of have to be actively concentrating or doing the magic. And in this particular case, this one is like something that you cast and it lasts for a limited amount of time and then it stops, and you can resist it with a roll. So what that non-detection spell is saying really is that somebody can cast it on you. It will last for 8 hours, and if someone attempts to... Oh, the other part of it is if someone attempts to scry on you and you resist it, they cannot do it again on you for 24 hours.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
if it fails, then you're good from that particular person, for a day.
And that's a DM roll, I'm assuming? You wouldn't tell me
No,
that
that's your
you're
roll.
rolling
I might not
Oh,
tell you
What-
why you're doing the roll, but that's your roll.
that. Okay.
Oh, so you might just throw out a roll to tell him to see if they see him. Because I was gonna ask, how does he know if somebody's casting non-detection so that he can
You mean scry?
sense it? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
scry.
Yep, every once in a while you guys all might get random requests for rolls, and it doesn't...
That's
I mean,
terrifying.
Scry is a spell that lots of people have, and any of you could be scryed on for any reason at any time. So,
Be scried.
So that shit follows me around like a little invisible drone. My dad's friend was right.
yeah,
Dude.
Worried
but
about everything.
only if you fail the roll, and only for 10
Stay in
minutes.
the woods.
All
Stay
right, so
in the
thank
woods.
Thank you for the explanation. I was pretty confused on how all that worked.
You're welcome,
Because
says Abaddon.
much like Eric, Adam has no idea on how magic works in this game. So true to form.
All right, so we can go through the nitty-gritty details in the chat, but basically, you all get outfitted. Is there anything else anybody wants besides that splint? Arik, did you want splint mail?
Yes, I said that I did. I traded
Okay.
in the other things that
All
I
right,
got
so
for
no
that.
caltrips, no bolts.
Right.
Okay. All right. So,
Does anybody else? Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm having like a freak out moment in my thing here. Nope, go ahead.
Does anybody else? I don't think anybody else in the group is proficient with something like chainmail, right? Nobody else wants to use it.
You know, and if we put them on anybody else, they'll just collapse down to the ground.
Did you want to sell it?
True.
Oh, we can do that now?
Yeah. So while you guys are all being outfitted and whatnot, just how about you in the chat in Discord? If you let me know like what you want to sell, I'll let you know how much you get for it during this evening.
I can unload.
So what we'll do is we'll say, not Erdnot. I keep doing that. Onthar, Onthar, and Leosin. They tell you to go to the docks, the Dragon Eye docks for the morning, and there will be a ship waiting for you. Hold on.
That was the slowest fucking moped. Did you guys hear that?
What?
No.
Like zipping up their pants or something.
No, it was literally a moped that I heard from like 2 houses down, and it was like the guy was literally going 2 miles an hour, but that motor was like straining. Jesus.
So, they tell you that the ship's name is the Killhampton. Your horses will already be on there, and the captain is named Onvam Forest Helm. So you guys,
What was the name of the ship again?
the Killhampton, Kilhampton.
What? I did that right that time.
And so, speeding up and moving forward, you the next morning, you all meet at the Dragon Eye docks, which I will go to my thingy-mabob and.
Is this like dawn kind of morning or?
He said that the ship would leave about 6, so yeah, it's like 5 in the morning. Harmony is more than happy to have you follow them home, and well, they're working until like 2, so it's gonna. If you do go, then you will get a point of exhaustion for your first day, but it's up to you.
I was gonna say we're all going to Harmony's. Goddamn! Now it's a party.
I'm not going to go with Harmony,
Right.
but I would like a moment to write Harmony a bit of a note.
Okay.
And some parchment, so I need that.
All right. Yeah, Onthar.
Do you have lipstick so you can put a little kiss, like a kiss on it?
Swag.
You can write it like an old, my dearest Harmony.
I'm gonna rub it under my armpit so she remembers what I smell like.
As expected,
hamburger and onions.
Onthar was very disappointed to see Vidania's purple hair gone, but he explained that he understood your choice and that it was very wise. But that was before the next morning. They don't meet you at the docks or anything. And you load up on the at the dock, and you are met by a human male in his like mid-50s, salt and pepper windswept hair, matching beard, darkly tanned skin, muscled body, and that is
keep going, Lee.
Captain Onvam Forest Helm. And then there's 2 ship hands, basically. Jororu, who's a young human guy in his early 20s, blonde hair with a little bit of blue in it and some sky blue eyes. He's very quiet, but you can tell he's very loyal to Onvam. And then Bolro, Evenbow, Bolro, young human woman in her late 20s, dark brown skin, gold eyes, freckles.
Aw, she's so cute.
Super dedicated to Onvam. And they greet you, and your horses, like I said, are already set up. Everything's ready to go, and by 6 in the morning, you head down the river towards Baldur's Gate. And that's where we'll pick up, because it's 11.
How does that happen so fast?
I know.
It happens so fast.
Mm. Well, when do you guys want to play next? Tomorrow. That's what I thought too.
Can't do Wednesdays. Sundays and Wednesdays.
Damn it.
So I thought, I mean, I'm down for whatever you want to do, but Thursdays are available.
That's
But
good with
otherwise,
me.
Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, Thursday's good.
He's being on a boat.
Hmm?
Said Erdnot is not pleased being on a boat. He wants to play again soon. So he can stop yakking.
Get off the boat.
The Titanic.
I bet all that ale, all that Thunder Chunder ale is sitting real fucking well with him, isn't it?
Under
yeah.
chunker.
Definitely the next day, Micaiah, you would have a point of exhaustion for the day regardless. And Erdnot, you're all right.
It's a good thing she shaved her head or I'd be holding her hair back.
Oh my gosh, I never threw up so much in my life.
I hope they have some really gross smelling salted fish on the boat, because as he's throwing up over the side, I would stand right upwind from Erdnot and just this is off, and just blow the smell into his face as he's yakking over the side.
I think you
All
eating
that
that
bothers
fish,
him is
that means you need a webcam for that.
Well, the funny thing is, that's something my dad actually did. We went on when I was in like the 5th grade or something, we went on a whale watch with the school, and my dad was a chaperone, and the kids that were part of my group that he was chaperoning were running around and eating and stuffing their faces full of chocolate, and my dad said, "Hey, you kids, slow down, you're gonna get sick on the, you're gonna get sick, yada yada yada, you're gonna get seasick." And sure enough, they did. And after my dad spent like an hour and a half telling these kids, "Don't do that. Trust me. I've worked on boats. I've been on the ocean half my life." Of course, they're over the side, and my dad is eating the smelliest tuna fish sandwich from home, upwind, and he's looking at this kid, this one real little asshole who was like, "I'm not gonna listen to you, old man," and he's like taking big bites and going, and blowing it in his face, and this big nasty belch right in the kid's face. Oh my god, it was like fucking legendary. I hated that kid.
Is he, just to confirm, it's now officially the 1st of Leaf Fall, correct?
Yes.
Time means
3-day
nothing to
boat
me.
trip.
It is
It's
Leaf
tedious.
Fall 1, and it is still high harvest tide because it is 2 days, the 30th of Elent and the 1st of Leaf Fall. So there's still festivities, and you can hear things. Even at 6 in the morning, things are starting to pick up out there. And yes, he told you that it would take about 3 days of traveling down the river.
All right. So we're trying to shoot for Thursday.
Shoot for Thursday.
Yes.
With this bullshit and the downtime RP, what's going on in the boat? Or are we not? Or you have like, or are things gonna attack us on the boat when we can't play on there?
She's not gonna tell us
You can do. Well, you can do downtime RP in the Discord on. You just took off, so if we're moving on from the drinking contest to what's happening now, then you just kind of pushed off and start there, yeah.
Since I've been on ships before, would I have any previous experience with anything, so I know kind of what everybody's doing, the ship hands and all that?
Yeah. Did you wanna help them or just know?
I would just know, just in
Okay.
case. I just wanted to know, like, from my previous experience, if something went wrong, and hypothetically, if something happened to a deckhand, if I could jump in and help.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, sweet.
Keep an eye on Ball Rouge. She sounds cute.
And
All right.
I know you said how big the boat was. Is there enough room for training, or a spot that would be enough room to train?
Not underneath. You could probably get away with like a little bit of it. It's a tight fit. With between the horses and the 9 people. But you could probably find some area to train for. You're not going to probably get a good 3 hours a day, but
some training can be done.
yes.
On the top deck.
We left Ari without a care. Nobody was concerned.
He left us without a care, not even a note.
I can hear a baby.
Disappeared.
Okay.
He'll come for us. He knows we need him.
Yeah, if he can turn his miniature horse, not a pony, into an owl, then he can turn it into a dolphin and ride it.
There you go.
Good night, folks.
All right,
Good
see you,
night.
everybody.
All right.
See you
Good
guys
night.
later.
Good night, everybody.